After ticking Koudelka and Shadow Hearts off my replay list of classics, it was time for the king of the series, the one, the only Shadow Hearts Covenant. I held this game in such high regard when it was released back in 2005, and I'm surprised that it took me so long to finally replay it. But I can tell you now, this review is going to be just about all praise, because praise is exactly what this game deserves. It's not only by far the best game in the Shadow Hearts series, but perhaps the best RPG on the PS2 system, and we all know there are some beauties out there. So let's get things started. Covenant takes place half a year after the events of the original game, where a German officer, Karen, leads an assault on a small town to slay a demon. Who is this demon, you ask? The one, the only, Yuri, the protagonist of both Shadow Hearts titles. And if you haven't guessed yet, I am consciously ignoring the colossal disappointment that was Shadow Hearts 3, so let's just forget that exists, alright? Anyway, Yuri. This guy has badass written all over him. If he isn't up there with your favourite protagonists ever after playing this game, there's a problem. And that problem is you. Yuri's badassness, which is my new favourite word, is largely due to his ability to turn into demons, and in true Shadow Hearts form, he is introduced in pure style with an absolute gem of a cinematic. Soon, Karen and Yuri join forces to investigate the terrorist organisation Sepientus Gladio in order to uncover their motives. And from here on, you best hang on to your seats because Shadow Hearts Covenant is one hell of a ride. The story is hands down superb and is brilliantly told through many well animated and well voiced cutscenes. There are twists and turns around every corner right up until the ending that will no doubt cause you to rethink everything that you've just seen. Every single step of the way is highly engaging, and its many links to the previous Shadow Hearts plot and its characters makes it even more enjoyable. And while playing through the original games will definitely enhance the Covenant experience and is highly recommended, it's not a requirement in following this fantastic storytelling.
Why did you bring me here?
To give you this.
A cross?
It belonged to my mother. I want you to have it.
Really?
All of the people that I've ever loved have carried it.
If you saw my Shadow Hearts 1 review, you will know how much I love the sarcastic badassness of Yuri. He confronted a lot of issues in the first game and is faced with even more this time around. Watching him work through his inner conflicts is what makes his journey so enjoyable. Couple this excellent protagonist with superb villains and a great cast of supporting characters, and you have yourself a recipe for success. So few games out there are able to achieve this. Yuri's party are all likeable in their own right. Some are there as key contributors to the plot, while others seem to be around for comic value. Take Joachim for example. He is a bodybuilding pro wrestling vampire who could crush a skull in the palm of his hands, but he's as thick as a brick, yet surprisingly philosophical at the strangest of times. These characters not only create some incredibly memorable moments, but also provide a ton of gut laughs.
Champion of truth and justice, Grand Papillon, ready to fight all evildoers! If you can face the unfettered fury of my rippling muscles, then come on!
Yes, this is actually one of the funniest games I have ever played. Countless times, the well-written scripts, the subtle and sometimes not so subtle sexual references had me laughing out loud. However, this humour comes at a price. Those like myself who praise the dark themes and atmosphere of Koudelka and the first Shadow Hearts may be mildly disappointed by the humorous road that Covenant has taken. That's not to say that these dark, mature themes are entirely absent, as there are plenty of moments that rival its predecessors, but they are evidently not as consistent. To me, the addition of humour was welcomed with open arms, but others may disagree. Shadow Hearts 1 was widely praised for its Judgment Ring system, and I'm pleased to announce that this excellent mechanic not only makes a return but comes with many quality enhancements. For those new to the series, the Judgment Ring is Oh, it's a ring that appears when you select an action in battle. Rather than simply attacking the enemy when you choose to attack, you will instead need to carefully time your strikes in order to pull off the attack and also to maximize the damage. To make things clear, think of the clock where the minute hand is rotating at a high speed and you have to hit X when it hits the 3, 8 and 11 o'clock points, for instance. If you miss one of these, your character will not attack at all. Furthermore, if you hit X in the smaller strike zones, you will inflict extra damage. This system is fantastic as it requires precision every single time you wish to act, placing you in control at all times. Covenant takes this a step further by allowing the player to customize the rings by increasing the number of attacks a character can unleash or increasing the regular hit and critical hit areas of the ring. Customizing each character to suit your playstyle was a step in the right direction. In addition to regular attacks, each character can perform unique abilities, cast equipped magic, or set up a combination attack with other allies to maximize damage output. All of these elements combined ensure that every single battle is a blast. But even with the amount of interaction you have with every single move, it's unlikely that you'll be challenged throughout the game. You are given the tools to build some incredibly destructive warriors, but without a single place to test their strength. This is the only criticism I have with Covenant. Come on, where are all the overpowered super bosses? One thing I said about Shadow Hearts 1 was that it was relatively small in scale compared to a lot of other RPGs of its time. I was very pleased to see that Covenant is not only a bigger game, but that it absolutely blew its predecessor out of the water in terms of content. You will need to visit every location multiple times to get the most out of the game, but worry not, this never becomes repetitive. Taking on the bonus dungeons, defeating all of the opponents in the fighting pits, finding all of the magic crests scattered throughout the world and obtaining every ultimate weapon and armor will take a lot of time to accomplish. But it's each character's unique set of abilities that really stands out here. Every party member acquires their abilities differently. For example, the puppeteer Geppetto needs to find stud cards of half-naked men to give to a homosexual dressmaker, who will then provide new dresses and battle moves for Geppetto's puppets. Meanwhile, the wolf Blanca needs to locate other wolves around the world, challenge them to one-on-one duels and collect their paw prints to unlock and power up his moveset. I found myself completely invested into every character's personalized quest so that I could make them as strong as possible, regardless of if they were in my final party or not. The developers did an amazing job in filling this world with plenty of content and plenty to discover. Shadow Hearts Covenant is an outstanding game that exceeds the quality of the original in just about every way. It's incredible cutscene driven storytelling, deep memorable characters, engaging battle system, and the amount of content will ensure every minute of this 50-hour journey is a blast. After all these years, it still stands strong as one of my favorite RPGs ever, and I'm very confident in recommending this game to anyone who enjoys a good RPG. My fingers are crossed for a resurrection of this series. Please, someone! This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you liked this, hit like and subscribe for more RPG content. See you next time.
それぞれの心の指す場所へ導